This story already made quite a bit of headway, but I'm still thankful that people wanted to hear my thoughts and opinions about it. So I'll give you guys the synopsis of this story. Won't take a lot of time to do that. But this story comes out of my original home state, Oklahoma. And just how sad this is incredibly crazy. I don't understand how we get to this point, but what I'll do is I'll give you the story and then I'll tell you my personal opinions after that. But let me give you a disclaimer where we talk about that beautiful princess that you guys see on my screen. Let's go ahead and get started. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. We're going to talk about the two individuals that you guys see on my screen right there. More importantly, this baby who was missing. But just to let you guys know, the biggest update is very recent, is that the remains were found. So let's talk about that. That little girl's name, let me back it up real quick right there. That is Athena Brownfield. That is Athena Brownfield. And she was 4 years old and was allegedly beaten to death on Christmas by one of her caregivers and buried near a home where they used to live, according to newly released court documents revealed on Tuesday. And I'm getting this particular article from dailymail.com, so thank you for the article. The week-long search for the 4-year-old Oklahoma girl became a recovery operation to find her remains after both of her caregivers were arrested last week. Very important. Ivan Adams, 36 years old, and his estranged wife by the name of Alicia Adams, 31 years old. The two clowns that you guys just saw on my screen, let's back it up right there so you can see that, had been caring for Athena and her sister Adina, who was 5 years old, for 2 years at their home at 225 West Nebraska Avenue in Cyril, Oklahoma. If I'm not mistaken, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. For those who are from Oklahoma, I believe Cyril is a small country town, if I'm not mistaken. That's definitely not a big place. I think it's a small little country town. So I don't mean to say that in a disrespectful way, but just to say that sometimes in these smaller towns, you really don't know what's going on. They're really, really enclosed communities. Now, documents have revealed that the alleged fate of the little girl, Alicia, who is related to the girls, reportedly told Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation that on Christmas around midnight, Ivan, the dude on the left-hand side of the screen, beat Athena to death in their Cyril home. How would you know that? They're saying that the boyfriend or the dad figure beat this girl to death in their Cyril home on Christmas around midnight. She then said Yvonne held the 4-year-old up by her arms. The child was not moving and her eyes were barely open, according to the document. After this, he is said to have laid her on the ground and punched her at least 3 more times in the chest. One of my hashtags I love to use a lot because I think it is relevant is hashtag babies for benefits. If you guys can type that in the chat. The reason I believe that they had these children in their possession, had custody of these children, because they did not love these children, is they only had them to collect some type of benefits. I'm not sure what those benefits are. It could be for power. It could be for food stamps. It could be for placement, whether they're in the child care system. It could be for a lot of different reasons, but I don't believe they love these kids at all. That's what we call hashtag babies for benefits. After he had already beat her, laid her on the ground, and punched her in the chest at least 3 more times. He's then alleged to have driven to Rush Springs around 1 a.m. on December the 26th, where he buried her body near a fence line on their old property. Her remains have not yet, well, at the time her remains hadn't been found, but to let you guys know, her remains have been found. So let me retract that. Her remains have been found, so that's a big part of the update. When Ivan, I'm sorry, why I keep saying Yvonne? That's Ivan, Ivon. When Ivan returned home, he allegedly told Alicia that he had placed a large broken branch over the grave. Phone records reportedly showed Ivan leaving the home and traveling to Rush Springs around 4:15 a.m. The alarm was raised on January the 10th after a postal carrier found Athena's older sister, Athena, wandering alone outside near a home in Cyril. When investigators interviewed Alicia on January the 12th, she confessed she knew what happened to Athena. Ivan was arrested on Thursday in Arizona and will be extradited back to Oklahoma, where he faces a murder charge. Alicia was arrested the same day and faces two counts of child neglect. The court documents also revealed that Ivan and Alicia never took the girls to the doctor for checkups and never had them enrolled in school. When Athena's sister Athena was interviewed by authorities last week, she told them she had been home by herself and was tired of being alone. So that sounds like that was something that was done on a regular basis. This neglect charge, those two neglect charges on Alicia, I don't really think they're going to give her much time in prison, but I think she needs a lot of time in prison. I don't really know what the appropriate number is. So I'm going to just leave that alone for now because I really hope they give her a lot of time in prison. I just don't think that's going to happen, though. In a statement this week, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation said special agents, along with our partners at the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, OHP, have been searching areas of Caddo County for toddler remains. The agency asked that the public not help in the search, saying that it could end up trespassing or contaminating potential evidence. The sisters' biological parents, who have not been named, I don't know why they haven't named them. I don't know why they haven't come out and done an interview yet. But the biological parents have been interviewed by authorities and are cooperating with the investigation, according to OSBI. Athena's sister had been taken into protective custody. Thank goodness for that. One of the children survived. Volunteers and multiple law enforcement agencies have been involved in the search, which included helicopter, boats, all-terrain vehicles, a specially trained ground team, and a review of surveillance video from around that area. The city of Cyril has also suspended trash services as investigators search for clues. The Bureau said which is actually pretty smart, so they don't end up dumping the remains if they could have found them in a trash can. So that's actually pretty smart. The Bureau said agents were following up on tips from, well, I guess we can skip some of that. While authorities have revealed that the pair are married, it appears that they have since split, with Alicia spending a romantic weekend away with her boyfriend just days after Athena went missing. The postal worker who found Athena's sister says she checked the home and no one appeared to be there. Athena is said to have told the worker that she was hungry, which means she was probably being starved, being left at home by herself, and that she couldn't find Athena, who was described as being very shy. Over the weekend of January the 7th and 8th, Alicia, who had guardianship of the sisters, was seen enjoying a trip to the movies and a meal over an hour away in Oklahoma City with her new boyfriend, Bladen Davis. Why they put his whole name out there like that is beyond me, but maybe that's for a reason. But Bladen is the new boyfriend. That's woof. But I get it, though. I like the accountability. Alicia regularly shares videos of herself rapping on TikTok, singing along to the N-word and making joke clips about her life as a busy mother. So apparently she is a bigot, prejudice, or what some people would refer to as racist, singing the N-word and recording videos. So apparently she don't like black folks. Not that that even matters. If you don't like black folks, you have every right to not like us, I guess. I guess there's, enough of that going around. But I digress. She has 4 children of her own. 4 children plus these 2. So 4 children of her own who regularly feature on her Instagram account. But Athena and Adina were never shown, and it remains unclear how the girls ended up in her care. Let me tell you guys this. If you have 4 children, I think the last thing you should be doing is dating, thinking about more dick, and probably thinking about producing more kids, especially when you've already taken on 2 additional children, right? That you were neglecting, that you didn't give a shit about, huh? Somebody please tell me that that doesn't sound exactly like what I describe as babies for benefits. Why would you have 6 children and still be dating? Because you cannot split your attention. None of them can. Between 2 people, you can't split your attention between 6 individuals. Not properly. That's hard as hell to do. There are a lot of people who have 1 or 2 children that still need nannies and still need babysitters and daycare and all kind of stuff, right? It multiplies and multiplies as you have more children. And this is why I believe that having a ton of kids is always a bad thing, because you cannot give them the proper attention and you can't make the proper investment financially to take care of all of them properly. The children's paternal grandmother, Penny Brownfield, is in Cyril and joined the search for the missing grandchild. But like I say, the body's already been found, so that is essentially breaking news. So let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's talk about these news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, video. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And we're just kind of getting this video started. So if you guys would do me a favor and click that thumbs up, don't waste any time. Hit that thumbs up so more people can see this as quickly as possible. Let's go ahead and talk about these news videos.
Athena's 5-year-old sister wandering alone in a town southwest of Oklahoma City. Adams is charged with first-degree murder and child neglect. His wife is also charged with child neglect.
Fox 10 News is back.
New details in the arrest of a fugitive in Phoenix in connection to a missing girl in Oklahoma.
Yes, a heartbreaking story. Court documents say 36-year-old Ivan Adams beat the little girl to death and buried her body. Adams' wife, Alyssa, told investigators it happened on Christmas morning. The couple were caregivers for the 4-year-old little girl named Athena Brownfield. Law enforcement has been looking for her since last week when a postal worker found Athena's 5-year-old sister wandering alone in a town southwest of Oklahoma City. Adams is charged with first-degree murder and child neglect. His wife is also charged with child neglect.
Authorities say their search for a missing 4-year-old is now considered a recovery operation. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says it is searching for the remains of Athena Brownfield in Caddo County with the help of other law enforcement agencies. 2 people have been arrested in connection with the case. Ivan Adams and his wife Alicia Adams are both charged with child neglect, while Ivan is charged with murder. According to published reports, in court documents charging Ivan, authorities said that Alicia said Ivan killed Athena on Christmas Day of 2022. OSBI says the couple were responsible for Athena and her 5-year-old sister's care for about a year. On January 10th, Athena's sister was found unsupervised outside of their home by a postal worker who notified police. That's when authorities say they discovered Athena was missing. Ivan Adams was taken into custody in Arizona, where he waived his right to an extradition hearing and will be sent back to Oklahoma. Alicia is in custody in Oklahoma. Investigators say she is related to the children. They also say the children's parents are cooperating with the investigation. For Inside Edition.
Abby, Jess, the court wouldn't allow cameras in or outside of the room, but like you said, I was there as Alicia Adams faced a judge for the first time. Now, in these court documents released today, we learned that Ivan and Alicia Adams, the caregivers of Athena and her 5-year-old sister, had the girls in their care for 1.5 to 2 years.
They were in their custody for 1.5 to 2 years. I want y'all to notice something. I want y'all to notice that they never mention why the children were in her custody, were placed with her to begin with. Yes, it's a kinship placement. Thank you for posting that in the chat. It's a kinship placement. But why? W-H-Y. Why was it a placement? Why did that have to happen? Where were the crappy ass parents, biological mother and biological father? Where were those meth heads? I can guarantee you that they lost custody of their children for a reason. What do y'all want to bet? Anybody want to place a bet on that? I can guarantee you there was a great reason why the biological mother and biological father lost custody, and they had to do a kinship placement. Here's the thing. Most of the time, it's a good thing to try and do. But see, this is why the system can't win. This is why I hate people getting mad at CPS, Child Protective Services. What the hell are they supposed to do? You don't do nothing, you get in trouble. You place them with somebody else, you get in trouble. You place them with family members, you get in trouble. You place them with somebody that's qualified, you get in trouble. You don't ask enough questions, you get in trouble. It just seems like a job that is a lose-lose situation. A double-edged sword that cuts on both sides. In general, you want to try to find a family member that this child can stay with first. Why would you want to put the children with strangers? Because this is usually how it ends up. You would think that somebody who has a DNA tie to the children wouldn't do something like this. Because these children would end up going into the system and maybe never find a home. They'd just be in a shelter somewhere or something like that, which is not good either. So I don't disagree with the idea of trying to find a family member to place the children with, but this is definitely not what you want to happen either. You don't want to put them with people that don't care, because otherwise, don't take the kids on. If you got 4 kids, ma'am, let me just say that your punk ass probably shouldn't have asked for the kids. You got enough kids. Unless you're running like a nursery or a daycare, I really don't see the point of people having more than 3 kids. You got 6 kids in the house. To me, that's a red flag. That's a problem. More times than none. Let's keep going.
It says that their biological mom gave her daughters to this couple. Now, Alicia, one of the girls' caregivers, is now facing 2 felony counts of child neglect, one for leaving Athena's 5-year-old sister unsupervised, the second for leaving Athena without protection from her husband, Ivan Adams, who allegedly murdered the 4-year-old little girl. $500,000. That's the bond amount that was set today at the Caddo County Courthouse as Alicia Adams faced her fate. If posted, a judge ruled Adams will have to stay in Oklahoma, wear a GPS tracking device, and can't have any contact with witnesses, some of those who may be her own children. The public defender in the case put in an application for a gag order, saying it's impossible to have a fair trial with affidavits floating around social media. OSBI warned the public yesterday that social media rumors could hinder progress. This affidavit released today details what may have happened to Athena Brownfield. It says the caregivers never enrolled Athena's 5-year-old sister in school or took the girls to the doctor. Athena's sister told police when they found her all alone that she was, quote, tired of being alone. It's unclear how long that little girl was left without care. Documents say Alicia confessed to investigators last week that her husband, Ivan Adams, beat and killed Athena on Christmas Day. We're going to keep pushing for answers for a clear timeline of what has happened in this investigation. Investigators have searched lakes, land, even the home where Athena was living. And new today, agents here at OSBI tell us that little Athena Brownfield was living with Ivan and Alicia Adams, her caregivers. Now we know that Alicia was related to little Athena, and now both of them are behind bars. A small town community lighting candles in honor of 4-year-old Athena Brownfield. Athena's caretakers, Ivan and Alicia Adams, were arrested Thursday, 2 days after Athena was reported missing. We still don't know the last time she was actually seen.
And thank you guys for clicking that thumbs up. I see that number is going up, and I appreciate that. And I don't mean to stop the video to even bring that up, but thank y'all for clicking that thumbs up. Let's try to keep that going.
Ivan now faces first-degree murder and child neglect charges. Court documents from Arizona, where he was arrested, tell us evidence was found on his cell phone. He appeared before a judge Friday for the first time.
I want to get there and take care of it.
Now he waits to be brought back to Oklahoma.
I need to get there and fight this.
Alicia Adams, the other caretaker who was related to Athena, is set to face a judge for the first time tomorrow in Caddo County. She faces possible child neglect charges, but has not been formally charged by the state, and no documents have been released about what she's accused of. OSBI says the biological parents of Athena have been cooperating, and agents warn the public to not speculate through social media as it could interfere with their investigation. Investigators also ask that you don't self-deploy in helping search for Athena's remains, as you could be trespassing or contaminate evidence in this ongoing investigation.
Now to a breaking development out of Oklahoma, where investigators say they found the remains of a child. Police making that tragic discovery today while searching for a missing girl. Now, Athena Brownfield was reported missing last Tuesday. New court documents have revealed gruesome details of what may have happened to the 4-year-old, and a chilling confession from the person who was supposed to be caring for her. Caitlin Ogle from our Oklahoma City affiliate explains how this turned into a recovery effort.
Little Athena's caretaker and relative was just arraigned inside the Caddo County Courthouse. Her bond now set at $500,000. Last Tuesday, Athena's older sister told a postal worker she was tired of being alone in her surreal home. That kicked off a massive search for little Athena. It started in a home, then moved to a Grady County field, then a pond.
I want y'all to think about that for a moment. That little girl said that she was tired of being home alone. Think about how many times this child had to been left at home alone, and how many other children would have been in the home if the mom and husband were there. That's 4, 5, 6, 7 people that she's used to being around. 8 people inside of a small home. And you mean to tell me they're gone that often? That you're tired of being at home alone. And on top of that, this is why I believe that this woman needs probably more time than what they're going to give her. Because not only are you related, this is disgusting, and those children wouldn't have been in your custody if you hadn't asked for them and accepted custody of them. But to take your other children, knowing how valuable babies and children and being a mother and a parent is, that you leave the other children behind. That in itself, child neglect, that should at some point maybe even be considered for attempted murder when you leave children alone at that age by themselves. We might not ever get to the point where we can consider that attempted murder, but I would love to see that happen. I would love to see a much harsher charge. How many years y'all think she should get in prison? Leaving a child alone like that, or children alone like that, is just flat out unnecessary. That's just cruel. You could have just left the situation to the state to figure it out what to do with the kids, if that was the case. But to just step in and say, I'll take care of them, and then you leave them by themselves like that? No. What y'all think? 25 to life? Maybe? 25 years, get out on good behavior?
Thursday, Athena's relative, Alicia Adams, was arrested on 2 counts of child neglect. Hundreds of miles away in Arizona, Alicia's husband, Ivan Adams, was arrested. He's now facing first-degree murder and child neglect charges. New court documents show on Christmas night around midnight, Ivan allegedly beat Athena, then held her up by her arms. Alicia told investigators the little girl was not moving and her eyes were barely closed. Ivan Adams then, quote, laid her on the ground and punched her at least 3 more times in the chest. Little Athena never moved after that. We're told Athena's biological parents are now working with investigators, and her older sister is now in the care of a family member and is safe. Back to you, Nicole.
All right, thank you for that. And those remains have not yet been positively identified. We will continue to follow this and bring you any updates. Thank you for watching.
So again, in closing, here's why I put the accountability and how we can get to a point to where this never even happens. The accountability has to be put on the biological mother and biological father for not loving your children enough to get in a position like this where they have to be taken into someone else's household, whether it be family or friends, a grandmother or whoever. These kids should have never had to go into another household. Here's the crazy thing about it, with these children being 1 year apart in age. When you had the first child, you should have known we financially can't take care of this child. Maybe stop there. But you know what we do? We get so selfish and we get so enthralled in the idea of having some nasty, funky, sweaty, stinking sex, getting an orgasm, getting our nut off. We think about that and value that more than the procreation that we end up causing as an act of that. Then what do? You bring another child into this world just because you couldn't be responsible with your sexuality. Either to wear a condom, to have contraceptives, to maybe be on the shot, to maybe get your tubes tied. Whatever it is, having these children is a choice. And biological mother and biological father chose to bring these 2 kids into this world without a plan. Next thing you know, now they need a home. They need somewhere to go. They end up going to a home that couldn't accommodate any additional children. How was that even possible? Some people are saying that they might have went outside of Child Protective Services and they just might have dropped the kids off. Either way it goes, that's still a choice. Even if she came by the house and dropped them off, you could have called CPS, Child Protective Services, police, the courts, or anything and said, hey, this woman over here or this man over here, they're not being good parents over here. And y'all need to figure out something to do with these kids because we can't take them. I have 4. It's still a choice. And everybody in this family needs to be held accountable. Especially the biological mother, biological father, outside of these 2 individuals. But let me say this, to hold accountability, still no excuse for this man to get mad at those children, especially that baby, to beat her to death like that, for this woman to know about it, watch it happen, didn't say anything. I think there should be some additional charges, maybe some harboring a fugitive for justice or desecrating a corpse for knowing that it happened and you didn't say anything. I don't know. I just wish there were more charges and more accountability there. But I think for her, 10 to 25 years would be great. For the boyfriend, the estranged ex-husband, life in prison. That's easy. Give him life in prison. But these babies, both of these baby girls couldn't speak for themselves nor defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers in this moment. What were they supposed to do? Who's going to cry for these little girls? Who's going to ask for justice for these little girls? Who's going to see this through to the end to make sure that we at least get some semblance of justice in the court system? For us to lose this little girl in that manner, we would never find justice on this earth. They need a one-way ticket straight to hell, both of them. And I hope their actual biological children are ashamed of them. And I hope they're able to grow up and become something great in spite of these 2 idiots. May that little girl, Athena, may her soul rest in peace. To the other little girl, Adina, keep her in your prayers because she's going to need it. And that baby girl has been traumatized so much. It's a good thing that she's so young because maybe she can emotionally, spiritually, and physically, she can get over this probably, I don't know, by her teenage years, and maybe can grow up and become something phenomenal. I would love to see that happen, okay? But keep those babies in your prayers, all of those babies in your prayers, okay? Thank you.